So for today's video, we're going to be making these little axolotls. You're going to need your scissors, 4.25 crochet hook, 2 colors if you wish to do. I'm doing light and dark usually, of number 4 medium white yarn, your darning needle, and some safety eyes, or if you're going to make your own eyes. Just keep in mind these are 8mm eyes and they're very tiny backs, so if you are doing these for a child you might want to go with bigger eyes or another form of securing eyes on your little guy. Okay, let's get started. So you're going to make your loop, magic ring, chain 2, however you start your rounds, and we're going to put 8 single crochets into this ring. So grab your yarn, pull up through, chain 1, and start your 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm just going to grab a little stitch marker. Now for your next round, you're going to do in your very first single crochet, you're going to do 3 single crochets in the next stitch. So 1, 2, and 3 all in the same stitch. Then you're going to do 3 single crochet, or 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, and then in the next stitch 1, and in the next stitch 1. And in the next stitch you're going to do 3 single crochets again in that same stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. And the next 3 stitches you're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And you should now have 12 stitches. For the next round, round 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, and then 2 and 3 in the next stitch. And then number 4 in the next stitch. 5 and 6 in the next stitch. 7, 8 and 9, 10, 11 and 12, 13, and then 14 and 15, 16 in the next stitch, and 17 and 18 in the last stitch. Alright, for round 4 you're just going to go all the way around, 1 single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whoops, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now for round 5, you're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then you're going to increase in the 3rd stitch for a total of 24. So 1, 2, and 3 and 4 in the next stitch. And we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, 17, 18, and then 19 and 20, 21, 22, whoops, 22, and then 23 and 24 in the last stitch. Now you're going to do 3 rows of 24 all the way around. So row 6, 7, and 8, and I will meet you back at row 9 before you start row 9. Okay, so you should have just finished your 3 rows of 24. And now we're going to start a little decrease row for row number 9. And we're going to do 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2 single crochets, and then a decrease for a total of 18. So 1, 2, and 3 will be a decrease. And then 1 single crochet for 4, and 1 more for 5, and then a decrease for 6. So 7, 8, and 9 is a decrease. 10, 11, and 12 is a decrease. 13, 14, and 15 is a decrease. 16, 17, and 18 is a decrease. So now for row 10 and row 11, you're just going to go all the way around for a total of 18 per row, and I will meet you back here on row 12. Okay, for row 12, we're going to start doing the front legs. And we are going to start with 3 single crochets in each, one in each stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you're going to yarn over, go into your second, so that's your first, that's your second stitch from the hook. You're going to go into that stitch, pull your yarn up and through, and then you're going to wrap around again and do the same thing. Go in that second stitch from the hook, grab your yarn, and pull up and through. Now you're going to take your working piece of yarn, and you're going to pull it through all, what do I have, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5 loops. And then you're just going to give it a slip stitch. And you're going to give a slip stitch into that second stitch again. So that's 1, and then you're just going to slip stitch all the way back down the chain. 2, just make sure it's not twisted. 3, 4, and then that last one there, number 5. Now you're going to do 11 single crochets, so make sure, it's hard to see maybe, so this was your last stitch before you chained up, or that you chained up on. So this hole right here beside it, where you would normally have just kept on going, that will be where you put your next single crochet, as if you didn't even do this chain 1, or little leg. So 11, so 1, 2, 3, 4, nope, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And now we're going to do our second leg, so we'll chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to make our little foot. So yarn over and come into that second chain from the hook. Pull through and pull up. Yarn over again and go in that same stitch. Grab your yarn, pull through and up. And now you're going to pull through all 5 stitches here. And do a slip stitch. And starting in this second chain from the hook, do your 5 slip stitches down the chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to do 4 single crochets to finish off the round. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this is where I'm going to put the eyes on. So you want to even out where your legs are. This will be the bottom, where they're the closest together, and the top will be where they're furthest apart. Also, where your stitch marker is and where you've been going up in the rounds, I make it the bottom. So flatten your piece out, and you're going to go about 4 rows up. So if this is row 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're going to go just above there. you can play and go a little higher or not. I've just figured they're a little closer, lower and further apart. So I'm just going to put them about 1 or 2 stitches from the edge. It's kind of where they look even. And then I'm just going to put the backs on them. And just remember, they are the tiny eyes. So I don't have a lot of faith in this little stopper keeping them. So if you are giving them to younger children, either put a warning on with them, small parts, choking hazard. Most people use their own discretion as to whether they feel like it's appropriate for their child or not. And then I'm just going to add a tiny bit of stuffing. Because we'll want to be stuffing this as we go, as it gets smaller. It reminds me of a little frog. I try not to overstuff it so I can get the flatness in the head, but I have overstuffed some and understuffed some, and they all kind of turn out. Okay. So for row 13 to row 17, we're just going to be going all the way around, 18 single crochets in each round. But I'll do the first round with you just so you can see how we go around these little legs. Okay, so row 13. So 1, 2, 3, and you'll notice all my single crochets are starting just behind the single crochet in the previous row. So I have 3 here, and I want to get to this side, so I don't want to put it in here. I want to put it over here just behind the next single crochet in the previous row. So you fold your leg down, and then you'll just stick your hook behind that single crochet into the V's of that loop, and then give it a single crochet there behind the leg. So that's 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoopsie, I got my, is that 8? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So here we are at the other leg. So you're behind this single crochet here, which is 14. Then you want to flip the leg down and get behind the next single crochet. So that's 15. And then 3 more. 16, 17, and 18. 14, 15, 16, 17. So I think there's 4 rows left of 18. So once you keep going around till you're done row 17, and then I will come back and we'll do row 18. Okay, so for row 18, we're going to start decreasing. we're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do a decrease. Then we're going to do 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then a decrease. And then 2 single crochets. 1 and 2 in each stitch left. Okay, so for row 19, we're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. And we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a decrease. And then 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. All right, this row we're going to put the legs on. So you're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to chain 6 to start your leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're going to make your little foot, wrap around, go into your second stitch from the hook, go in, pull out, up and through. Do that one more time, wrap around, go in your second stitch, grab your yarn, pull through and up, and then grab your yarn again and go through all 5 of those loops. And then you'll do a slip stitch, then you'll do 5 slip stitches starting in your second chain again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet, then you're going to do 1 decrease, and you're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease, and then you're going to do 2 single crochets. 1 and 2, and then you're going to do your second leg. So chain up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wrap your yarn, go into your second stitch from the hook, grab your yarn and pull through and up, Do it one more time, wrap around, go into that second stitch, grab your yarn, pull through and up, and then grab your yarn and go through all 5 stitches, or loops, I guess, and then make your slip stitch. And again, starting in your second chain from the hook, 5 slip stitches all the way down that chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you should have 1 single crochet left. Okay, so that was row 20. For row 21, you're going to do 12 single crochets all the way around. Make sure that you go on this side of this crochet around your leg, and then on this side behind this single crochet of the previous round. So 1, 2, 3. So fold your leg over and get behind that single crochet. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Fold your leg over and get behind the next single crochet for 12. That was row 21. Okay, so before we start round 22, we're going to add a little bit of stuffing. So as we get going now, it's going to be a little trickier each round to get our stuffing in there. Okay, so for round 22, we are going to do 4 single crochets and then a decrease. And we're going to repeat that for a total of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. And again, we're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. For round 23, we're just going to do 10 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops, 7, 8, Now for row 24, we're going to do 3 single crochets and 1 decrease, and repeat that for a total of 8. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease, and then 3 more and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. For round 25, we're just going to do 8 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And if you want, stop now, add a little bit of stuffing. Make sure you don't overstuff him. You don't want to be spreading out your stitches so you can see the stuffing through. Okay, for round 26, you're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease for a total of 6, sorry. So 1, 2, and a decrease, and again 1, 2, and a decrease. For rows 27 and 28, it's going to be 2 rows of 6. I'm just going to do 12 single crochets and flip my stitch marker when I get to 6 and 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just flip my stitch marker and keep on counting. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now we only have 1 row left, so get whatever little bit of stuffing you need in your tail, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to finish off the tail and to do the little spikes and his little fins. Okay, for our last row, row 29, we're going to do 3 decreases. It's going to be a little tricky and awkward. Just take your time. one. Make sure you're only going in the 2 loops of the next stitch and you're not going in the other side. 2. Yeah, and 3. And just make sure you have it on one side. Make sure you go down into here where your last stitches were on the other side, and then up into the stitch that you just made. And you're just going to do a slip stitch. And tie that off. You just need to cut a long enough tail that you're gonna be able to slip it through the body. Try and get right here. If you see your knot, try and go right in where that knot comes out. Make a little hole there if you need to, and then just push it up through the tail somewhere down into the belly and pull it out and through. Making sure not to pull that inside out. So hold that good. Pull your knot in, but don't let this piece fold in on itself. Okay, I'll cut that off. And then we'll start the little spikes on the tail. I forgot to put pins on my materials, but you might want to grab some pins if you have any. Okay, for the top fin, you're going to want to kind of find your straight line here. Count about 12 rows up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So about here. And just make a straight line all the way down. Every couple of rows, a row or two. So let me just count. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So where you have your 11th pin, you're just going to want to put your hook down and through like this. Get whatever the accent color you're going to be using. I don't have an orange I like, and I didn't even know if I wanted to make an orange, so I'm picking this. It looks brown, but it's kind of a browny orange. I'll try that. So make your loop. I made my loop way too big, actually. Definitely. And leave a little bit of a tail to help pull it in once you're finished. Now grab that loop. I don't know if I'm in the center on that side. Whatever. I am on the bottom. This doesn't look like it on the top. So I'm not a pro at this, but we'll work it out together here. So you're going to do a slip stitch. And then you're going to go down and around the next set of rounds, and you're going to do a single crochet, then you're going to go down and around the next set. Oops, so we're going to do a half, so wrap your yarn down around your half double crochet. Oops, sorry, off screen here. Do a second half double crochet in the next round. Then you're going to do a double crochet in the next round. Make sure you're staying in line with your pins. Sorry, I keep wanting to bring it close to me to do this, but I can't. Do a second double crochet. I lost it. Okay. We're going to do a third double crochet. And a fourth double crochet. Then you're going to do 2 half double crochets, one in each of the next, oops, I didn't grab that good, one in each of the next 2 rounds, so 1 half double crochet, and then your second half double crochet. Then you're just going to do a couple single crochets till you get to the end of the tail here. And once I get to one of the last few rounds, I can tell where the round is. I just go in the side with my single crochets. And then when I get to the tip, like I might put 2 in that one. And then when I'm at the tip, I might put a couple in there. Just kind of keep it looking even, and to check the other side here. See, I have a bit of hole there. So I'm actually going to take mine out. And I'm going to put another single crochet. Hopefully that'll cover that. If I can get in there. A little tricky on the end. I can't even get in there, guys. If you're having a hard time like me, try getting your darning needle in there and make a little hole. That might help. I think that should help. There we go. Just single crochet around until you feel like you've got what you need. And then you're just going to do the same thing back up the other side. Up. start with your one. Now I'm not going to use pins. I'm going to kind of squeeze it and hope that I get kind of a straight line. So get down one more single crochet. So get down and around to your first row. And you're going to put a single, a half, another half, and then you're going to do 2 doubles, so a double, crochet, and then another double crochet, yeah. And then you're going to do 2 half double crochets. So a half, and then a half, and then a single, and then a slip stitch. Oops, slip stitch. And then finish that off. Cut your ends. And whoops. And then you're gonna put your ends in. And I'm just gonna thread mine up in here in the accent color so that they're hidden a little better. Pull that in so your knot is gone. And do the other side. And then you got your little tail. You might have to kind of just play with it a little bit. For the spikes, you're going to want to find the center of your guy's head and the row where we decreased. So if you see these little V's, those are the single crochets. And then here is where we did a decrease. So right behind this row, that's where you want to do your little spikes. So I want mine to kind of end just around where his eyes are. So I'm going to choose this as my last stitch for my spike. And this one, I think, and this stitch for the first stitch of my next spike, I think. We'll see as we get going. So I just grab a little chunk of yarn, and you can use the ones you just cut off. Make sure they're straight across on that row. Get your thread or your yarn, I guess, and make a loop. Leave a little bit of a tail for pulling it in like we did the fin on the back. And your spikes are going to take 4 posts of your stitch. So if this is a post right here, right between your 2 stitches, this is the second post, the third post, and the 4th. So just under the 4th is where you want to do your first slip stitch. And then you're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're going to slip stitch down 5 times, starting in the second chain from the hook. You want these to be a bit on the tight side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to slip stitch into the next post. So you were just in that one. You're going to go into this one. Do your slip stitch, and then again you're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and starting in the second chain from the hook, you're going to do 5 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hope I'm going slow enough here. And then you're going to go in the next post with a slip stitch. And again, you're going to chain up 6. I don't know how to, it's the easiest place for you guys to see this. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then 5 slip stitches starting in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're just going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and I'm going to pull that out a bit just so I can, it's not in my way. And you will tie off. And just leave enough of a tail that you can thread that back in. So when you go to the other side, you want to start in this loop here. Remember, you started just above where the eyes were. So you want to start in front of where you put your stitch marker. If you did it the way I did it, you can get rid of it now. And then you're just going to do the exact same thing on this side. Starting with a slip stitch. Whoop. Make sure you're still straight in the same line. And then chain 6. Maybe it won't let me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 5 slip stitches down that chain. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, I singled. 3, 4, and 5. Slip stitch into the next post. I'm sorry, this is so awkward. I got my arms straddled around the camera and it's really in my way. Okay, so 6 chains, 4, 5, and 6. So your 5 slip stitches starting in the second chain from the hook. And then slip stitch into the next post, and this is going to be your last one. Oop. Slip stitch, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then your 5 slip stitches starting in the second chain from the hook. 2, 3, whoops, 4, and 5. And then you'll just slip stitch in the next post and tie off. And then we just need to hide our ends and we are done. So we're just going to take all your little ends. For this video, I'm just pushing them through. If you want to tie them together to make them a little more secure, so you got to pull, so you get rid of that knot in there. Do that. Yes, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and more importantly the subscribe button, and you'll be able to see when I load up more videos. Where's that end? Leave me a comment. If you've watched a few of my videos, feel free to tell me something you might like to see me do next, because I never know. I try and think of something that's maybe popular, but maybe not a lot of options for finding it anywhere. Like, I know there's a lot of patterns for these axolotls, and they're super cute. But there's not a lot of patterns that are like more the realistic shape of him. They're kind of more like like you see, they're like shaped like this. So his face is here, and then his tail's down here still. But I don't know how you lay them. Like if you wanted to lay them, they have to be standing on the tip of their tail all the time if you want to see their face. So I thought I'd make one more flat, like an actual axolotl, however you say it. So I hope you enjoyed watching. And let me know. There we go. There he is. I just kind of bend his tail a bit to make him a little more. I overstuffed his head a little bit too. But that's the beauty of them. They all look a little bit different, I guess. And the brown doesn't look too bad with the orange.